latest episode of the Never Gets Old podcast. I'm your host, Mac Jackson, and I'm joined in the fan cave with my buddy Scott Tipton. There he is.
Greetings.
Welcome back, everybody. And now, part 2.
And I sent you that picture. You haven't caught up yet, have you?
Yeah.
Oh, you're killing me. You're killing me because I want to talk about it. But we're finally getting the symbol.
Yeah.
Thank you, God. Do you know how much we have been aching?
Yeah, it's weird that they haven't done it yet.
I know. Mikey and I were talking about it, and I said, I know the exact moment when they should have, and they didn't. It was during the second. Are you caught up to the second season?
Yeah.
Okay. Remember when he has to get the helmet replaced?
Mm-hmm.
And Gladiator says, hey, I've updated some stuff for you. Well, at that point, everybody knows he's Daredevil. All they had to say was, I also put something on the chest since people know who you are, and have him check it out and go, oh, okay. There was your moment. That's when it should have happened.
Yeah.
At this point, it looks stupid that he's still without a symbol.
It's weird not to have it.
I know. Like I'm loving the first season of Born Again. Apparently, they plan to just keep going, which is duh.
Yeah,
they split the first season into 2 seasons,
mm-hmm.
So it's like 8 and 8 or 9 and whatever. But it's all one big story arc. All right, whatever, as long as we're getting it. But they said, no, we're not done. If they allow us to keep going, we got plenty to do.
Yeah, as long as you keep those 2 guys in there, that's fine.
And about how they spoke up and we're like, we got to change stuff.
I really wonder what were they doing before this? No one's really saying exactly. They're saying it was more like a law procedural, which to me is insane.
It was a law. What I've read, it was a law procedural comedy. I use that term loosely, a la the vein of She-Hulk. And they weren't going to put him in the outfit until the last episode.
Same.
And the story didn't make sense, and it kind of clashed with the history of what they'd already accomplished. And it didn't have the spirit that they knew of. And I guess both Vincent D'Onofrio and Charlie Cox walked up to Feige and said, you have to come see what's going on here.
Yeah, and by the way, this is the part I don't get. Why is Feige not aware of this? Why does he need to be told it? Shouldn't he
Because at that point, that was when things were going so well that they just went, crank out every single Secret War or Secret Invasion, She-Hulk, this, that, and the other thing. So you couldn't keep up. From what I understand, he was busy with the lawsuit with Sony. So he couldn't be as hands-on. He kind of just trusted people to keep the ball rolling while he fought with Sony about the Spider-Man crap. And then when they came to him and said, look, and he came and watched what they had done, he went, nope, shut it down. Shut it down. And the 2 actors walked up and said, listen, we have some ideas. We can still use kind of what was filmed. Because so far, up until the last 2 episodes that are going to come out this week and next week, chunks of what was filmed was used for scenes. So, but they had to add in new stuff to make it work and flow. And they had to refilm, like Vanessa was a different actress.
That's crazy.
So they had to actually go, cut her out, cut that whole side story out, bring in the original Vanessa, and we go again. Yeah, so imagine they're trying to use as much as they can, but then to go back and fill it in to make things like the bad guy in it. What's his name? Who's painting everything? He's a newer villain.
Okay.
Muse.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's my wife. Muse. Muse has only been around a couple of years. Well, I don't even know if he was part of the original or even that much. And so they had to have him in there and have it pay off. And now these last 2 episodes are from scratch. There's nothing left over. And It's great. It is. I have no complaint whatsoever, but it makes you go, thank God they stepped in.
Yeah,
Because
it boggles my mind that they could get that far along and be so off, especially for a show that they know what was successful about it.
right,
Well, they
right.
know why it worked before. Why would you change it just for the sake of being different?
Ego. Same thing you said before about producers going, well, I want to do my version.
Ugh.
It's not about you, dude. It's about the characters that you are, supposed to protect, not change for you. You have to change for them.
Did you watch any of the new Spider-Man animated series?
Love it.
Really?
Love it. You didn't?
Nah.
Get out of here.
I tried to get to the first one and I was out.
Oh, it's so good. It pays off. It pays off in such a great way. Like, you're confused watching that first episode, right? With Doctor Strange showing up.
Well, it was not so confusing. I just, I don't know.
It's
The
so good.
The Harry Osborn thing really bothers me.
Okay, yeah. I had a problem with the fact that, not that it really seems to matter, but very much like my adventures with Superman, they race swapped so many characters that didn't need it. And it felt like agenda driven more than character driven. Like Harry and Norman are black. However, it didn't really seem to matter in the long run as I'm watching it. I'm like, okay, it was stupid that they changed it, but it hasn't hurt anything else other than the unnecessary element of it. Move on. The pacing is great. The animation is great, and if you watched more, you would see what they did. They draw them like Kirby. Like when they show the guy who's going to eventually be Rhino or Doc Ock, they're drawing it in that 60s style. Like their face is in that, and it works. It doesn't feel blocky. It's very much in the Ditka Kirby kind of way, where even though you don't know that most people, they never alluded to the fact that he's going to be Rhino, but I'm looking at it going, oh, that's right, that's Rhino.
I don't know. I don't like the notion of having Norman Osborn there being kind of the Tony Stark role.
Right.
Because I'm not a fan of the Tony Stark role either. I don't like Spider-Man being a sidekick in his own movies or books.
It changes. I can tell you, yes, it starts off that way. The whole arc of this first season was him getting away from that. You think, oh, okay, so that makes sense, yeah. And then something changes along the way. And I can tell you right now, it's not that Norman or anybody becomes Green Goblin. They don't do that yet. None of that happens. It's like an alternate reality. We know what people know from the movies, and we're going to kind of parallel that a little bit, where it's Norman instead of Stark, just to make you go, oh. But then it doesn't rely on that. It doesn't, you know what I mean? It becomes its own thing. It was so good. Whereas, I don't know if you've watched my adventures with Superman.
A couple of them.
Yeah, that I enjoy, but
it feels there's for that one. It feels too much change for the sake of change.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's because I had a problem with it too. I'm like, all right, I feel like there's an agenda before you even put pen to paper of what you're gonna do. And again, Superman doesn't feel like there's enough bravado, which I chalk up to, it's supposed to be him just starting off as Superman, so he's kind of unsure of himself. But at no point do I go, dun, 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 dun. You don't feel that moment of, oh, look out, here he comes. It's still, I don't know, I'm kind of a naive kid, and I kind of like this Lois girl.
Yeah. Whereas, like X-Men in '97, just week after week, just
so good. I was just thinking about how much I miss that.
Yeah.
I'm ready for new episodes. And surprisingly enough, my kids loved it just as much.
Yeah.
But yet I go, well, in the meantime, why don't we go back and watch the original X-Men cartoon? My son's like, really? I don't know. From what you've described, it doesn't land the same way. He's right. Remember, it was on Fox, so they couldn't even have Wolverine do anything Wolverine-ish.
Yeah.
And the fightings were always just throwing people side to side instead of like actually punching people. But again, I still want, I don't want that momentum to stop. So I'm like, no, come on, look watch. Look, we got to. So anything Marvel or DC that comes up, we're like, we got to watch it. We got to, and maybe you'll in the meantime read a book or two, which we've said it before. It still is so stupid that they are not showing commercials for comic books.
Yeah, well, it's never been a priority for them.
It's what?
It's never been a priority for them.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's so, because everybody complains, well, nobody's reading the comic books, but they go see the movies. Okay. But during the end credits, at the very least, or before an episode, because we're watching it, give you an example. We're watching, let's say, Spider-Man, the one we were just talking about. Before they show it on Disney Plus, they're showing, don't forget about this video game of Spider-Man, and and of course the movies. And I'm like, and the comics. Like, come on, say it, show it. Like, it would take 10 seconds, maybe, if they showed me a 10-second commercial before, during, or after any of these shows. You've accomplished it. And how much did it cost you to make? Nothing. Right?
Yeah, of course I agree with you, but since the comics don't make enough money to be influential, they don't have the muscle to demand that space, whereas the video games do. It's unfortunately it's the situation.
Whereas I'm thinking that's because they don't advertise. Like it's a snake eating its own tail. Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of money. Well, that's your fault. Like put just a slight bit of emphasis, just a slight, and it would make a world of difference. It doesn't kill you. It's one of those universal things. I'm like, wow, come on, guys. You can show commercials for French fries at McDonald's that have a spider logo on it, but you can't. Speaking of logos, we've got McDonald's last night because my daughter was in the mood for it, and I typically have been avoiding it because I have a problem with the fact that the prices of everything have gone up so high. But she wanted it because her friends like to show, I don't know, each other when they go get something from McDonald's that has a movie logo on it.
Oh yes,
and it's
the Minecraft McNuggets.
Yeah. Why did they make this movie?
I don't know.
I mean, first of all, the appeal of Minecraft is that it's low budget, right? Like it was a video game without any real effort for kids. Yeah. You get to build stuff, but nobody looks real. The graphics are terrible, but it's part of its charm. I don't see the world demanding a movie of it, let alone now. How many years after it's been?
Well, this is the Lego and Barbie effect. If these things can be movies, this can too.
That's true. Battleship. Remember that?
Yeah. And by the way, the fact that Liam Neeson never screamed, "You sank my battleship" in that movie was an absolute crap. How do you not do that?
Yep.
That's the only reason to make the movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I know. If anything, you think they'd build the script around that one line.
That's just the only thing. Did you see the Liam Neeson trailer for Naked Gun?
No, but I want to. Is it good?
It's good. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. He's Frank Drebin Jr.
Is he really? Are they connecting it to the original?
Yeah.
That's how you do it. That is how you do it.
And I won't give it away, but there's a great gag at the end of it about connecting to the original too. So it's just a teaser. It's barely like 30 seconds, but go check it out.
I am so pumped. I love that. I was thinking about, because we always talk about how you shouldn't reboot things. Typically, 99% of the time, you can't reboot things because, not just because of how great the original is, but because of how unpredictable the ingredients were that made it so special. Like, you can't. I'll give you an example. I always say like the New Monkeys and the Not MacGyver show from 2015.
Yeah.
You can't just slap a logo on something and go, you need to accept this like you do the original, because it was the special ingredient that nobody saw coming were the people involved.
Yeah. Lightning in a bottle. Yeah.
Lightning in a bottle. Like with the Monkeys, it's funny. There's a quote I saw Mike Nesmith say. One of the producers were like, you know what? Like all these years later, they said to him, we could have picked any other four guys, as though it didn't matter about them. And Nez came back and said, yeah, well, you picked us. And because of us, we brought our own personalities and, made it an actual band. You would have had four guys, but it would have been a show that nobody remembered. Yeah. Same thing with like MacGyver or any other, Stargate, any show that you could think of. It's because not just the writing was unique and great, but the actors contributed to the makeup of who those characters are. Yeah. Behind the scenes, not just on screen, but like became an active part to say, actually, I think I should do, this, that, or the other. You can't replicate that.
Yeah. I mean, Star Trek Next Generation was that rare time when they did it and it worked.
Well, you know why? Because it wasn't a reboot. It was a continuation. It was, we're not treading on it. We're building on these great characters. And that's the magic. You can do that. Because even if a show or movie fails, well, it doesn't harm the legacy of the original.
Right.
It's its own thing, but it's connected. So like this Naked Gun thing, whether this movie does great or not, you're not telling the audience you need to forget the original. It's so obvious and simple that you go, come on. Just that going forward, generations of producers, there's what makes something work. Don't try and redo the magic. Try to continue the magic. That's much easier. Yeah. So talking about so many things I've been trying to tell you about. So as you know, I was unemployed for like 6 months. And I had this great job, but they ran out of money, basically. And, last hired, first fired kind of thing. No harm, no foul. It's a shame. You know what amazes me? And be thankful you weren't out there trying to find something. It's not that there isn't jobs out there. I signed up to all the job helpers and all the thing. And I'd be, anytime I would, oh, by the way, folks, the reason there hasn't been an episode in quite 6 months of this was because I didn't want to spend the money for Riverside to you'd spend $10 a month. I can do that. But when you're unemployed, you feel guilty about doing anything fun. You know what I mean? So I would do the audio series, and I got one of those produced because that doesn't cost me anything. But like anytime I think about doing something fun, maybe looking at some G.I. Joe guys or, superhero figures, I go, knock it off. Get looking on your phone to find a job. And I would apply every day to at least 2 jobs. At least. That was my thing. Apply. Because then I know I'm doing my part. What is so shocking and new about the world is employers who go out and ask for people to put, we have a position open, and they put it on like Job Finder or whatever the thing is. They don't follow up. You go out and you go, I'm here, I'm applying. Yeah, we'll get to you. For example, there was a company I applied for in the beginning of November. So at the end of October, I got laid off. And right away, started putting out applications. Things that I would apply for in November, they were just calling me at the beginning of March.
Oof.
Yeah, just for an interview. I got 4 interviews out of the hundreds. And it wasn't that I was not right for the job. If anything, I was more qualified. But at least you bring them in, you have a conversation. Well, not only that, not only do you not get called in for the interview, once they interview you and they go, we got a spot for you. Like this last one. All right, well, even if this one doesn't work out for whatever reason, we're going to have you come in and for another position. Would you be up for that? I'm like, yeah, it's a great company. I just want to get in. Perfect. We'll let you know in a week. Still waiting. I never got the call. Yeah. I never got the call. And it's not that they're not interested in me, because eventually they will reach out. But I was on my last month of unemployment. You know, talk about like I'm not sleeping at night.
Yeah.
I would, first of all, I'd be up till 4 o'clock in the morning. One, because my clock was off, because then I'd sleep until noon.
Right.
And then two, when I'm awake, I'm full of anxiety and feeling like I'm doing everything I should be doing. Why is nobody meeting me halfway? At least interview me.
Right.
Well, finally, the beginning of last month, I reach out to like I get a call from like a recruiter. So this company had like a middle person, like a hiring agency, reach out to me. They're like, "Would you be interested?" I'm like, "Yeah, let's do the interview. Let's go." Hired me that day.
Nice.
Yeah, the guy goes, "Oh, yeah, you've kind of done everything, anything administrative." I'm like, "Yeah." All right, well, let me talk to my partner. We might have to call you in for a second interview. I said, "I got nothing else to do." Calls me back in the afternoon and goes, "You don't have to do that part. You're in." So I've been there 3 weeks.
Excellent.
Yeah, I mean, there's a crap load to learn, because I'm in charge of materials for a construction agency or construction company. And it's a lot of I don't. The girl who showed me stuff was only there for a week and she was gone. So she got to tell you about the job, but we hardly scratched the surface on what to do. So it's kind of a learn as you go thing. But thankfully they know.
Excellent.
Yeah. So now I'm on the flip situation of I'm up early and I'm tired all the time. You know, like today I was like, well, I'll sleep until maybe, I don't know, 11. I'll get up, pretty myself up, and Scott and I can talk. And then I happen to open my eyes and I saw your text. I'm up. I'm like, okay. Because again, I get so excited for our chats that the day of, I'm like, all right, is he ready? Can we go do this now? Kind of thing. But I'm also able to relax a little bit. We get to go out and eat occasionally.
Yeah.
I get to get my action figures.
Yeah. It just takes that pressure off.
Oh, and it's like I said, it was such a helpless feeling, because it'd be one thing if it were my fault, but when nobody's doing their side of it, you're like,
Yeah.
you. And since the pandemic, so many people don't want to work. I never expected that from the company side of it.
Right.
Like they're like, yeah, we'll get to them. Yeah, we'll get to them. We got stuff going. Yeah, you know. I'm like, no, people are running out of money. You know, speaking of running out of money, did you see the Wave 2 action figures that are not coming out now because of the tariffs?
Oh yeah. No, I just saw that.
I thought of you, because I'm like,
Yeah.
there's the Rocketeer.
Yeah. No,
There's
there's going to be a good set, but I mean,
that was.
it's going to happen to a lot of small businesses now.
I'm hoping down the road maybe they'll try again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's going to affect comics in a huge way too,
Yeah.
because all the comics are printed in either Korea or Canada.
Oh, that's going to be a problem.
There are no American printers of comics.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Oh, that's gonna suck.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord God. And, you know, and since the election, we've just kind of vowed to keep our head down and not watch the news, because we're just going to be disgusted all the time. But even when you try to not pay attention, things like this come through.
Yeah.
Because just a couple days ago, they're like, look, we're getting the Tick and the Rocketeer and Savage Dragon, and, you know, and I'm like, those are guys I would get them. And then the boom, canceled. Like, oh, Matt Wagner, I think, was a lot of his guys were on there too. Because I think he's the one that I saw his post. He's like, I can't believe we're not getting this now. Like, oh, so I'm hoping down the road it'll get better. Did you get your ROM figure yet?
I haven't gotten mine yet. No.
When I saw it, I'm like, oh.
It's double ordered because I bought the whole set, then I bought an extra one off Amazon.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Nice.
because it looks so cool. I got to keep one in the box of this one. It was just pretty rare for me.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's true. I saw it when I think Rom. I think of you because of how much you love it and how I'm hoping to read it if I ever get a decent collection at a decent price. I will. That's on my list.
The Omnibuy must have sold well because now they're doing it in softcover in the Epic collection.
Yeah, I want to get it digitally.
A lot more affordable.
Yeah, I want to get it digitally. But that's like every time I look, I'm like, no, it's too much.
Yes.
Should I go issue by issue? Like a lot of these things that I'm trying, like I was saying from Ghost Machine, I would try and go because that way, if I don't like it, I can just stop. I don't feel like obligated to finish a arc or something. But no, that's one of those. I'm like, all right, Scott says it's great, so I better get in there and get going. Another one I read was Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees.
Yeah, I've heard that's quite good.
It's great.
Yeah,
it's such a conflict because it's watercolor, animal people, and it's beautiful, and it's also dark and disturbing. My daughter, she started reading that. But it's a great whodunit, Did you read Stray Dogs?
No.
Stray Dogs is Fleeks is the guys. I'm gonna have him on an episode. It's great. Been talking to him through Twitter and stuff and tell him how much I've loved it. Stray Dogs is a mini series where it's drawn like the Booth, All Dogs Go to Heaven kind of art style. But what did they say? It's like Disney meets Hannibal Lecter, Silence of the Lambs. Because basically, I'll give you the premise. This dog, it starts off with the dog at the vet and the owner's saying, they don't show the owner's face. It's from the dog's point of view. Oh, the dog must hate me coming in to get a shot at the vet. And the vet goes, dogs don't remember short-term memory stuff. Don't worry about it. It doesn't matter. They don't remember things like this. Oh, good. I was afraid the dog was going to hate me. Next thing you know, the dog's being brought into a house with a whole bunch of other dogs. And it's sweet because the dogs are talking to her the way dogs do. Ooh, smell, smell, smell. And they're all like getting around her and she doesn't like, all right, enough, leave me alone. No, new dog, we got to smell. And another one of the leaders comes forward and goes, guys, let's leave her alone. And gives her like the tour of the house and says, this is where the master sleeps. This is a room that we don't go in. He doesn't let us in. We think he keeps his treats in there. We'll show you the backyard, and it's very sweet. And all of a sudden, the owner comes home and goes, oh, you having trouble sleeping here? And throws a red scarf at the dog to like nuzzle with. And it's the owner that the dog had. It belonged to the owner. And you know how smell is connected to your memory? It's the strongest sense. The dog goes, and it gets a flash of that guy killing her owner.
Oh, God.
And it's, and he goes, she's like, your master killed my lady. And that's the way the first issue ends. And it's so good. It's so good. And it's like I said, it's a mini series, but now he's got Feral, which is an ongoing. It's like Disney meets The Walking Dead, where it's cats, but there's a strain of rabies going around. So you're watching these cats try and survive that are house cats out in the wild while all their friends are getting rabies.
Oof.
It's so good. It's scratching the itch that I miss from The Walking Dead. Because remember, like with The Walking Dead, you start to care about these characters. So when something bad happens, you feel it.
Right.
And you're shocked because you never thought it was going to happen the way it happened. And Feral is doing that kind of thing. It's if anything, I would recommend trying Stray Dogs because that's a one and done story.
Yeah, check it out.
I'm telling you, I just went. Something happened. Oh, you know what it was? I watched the people do videos on the best comics of 2024. So I'll watch those to see if I can hear anything new. And those were all on there. So I'm like, all right, I'll try it, and hooked on every single one.
Sweet.
What about what else are you reading?
Right now, I've just been really binging on vintage stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, you said go
I
ahead.
just finished off one of the those big Penguin hardcovers that came out a couple years ago, where it's the first maybe 12 issues of League of Ditko Spidey. Really gorgeous editions.
Yeah.
Um, what else? What else have I been looking at? I'm getting some Micronauts down here. I've been doing a big deep dive into that. I just got a gigantic stack of Jonah Hex and Scalp Hunters from the '70s from DC. Those are great.
Yeah.
DC in the '70s. I mean, it's easy to forget that they weren't just doing superheroes. They had 2 or 3 really good selling westerns and horror books, and they're putting it was top guys on those books. Really well done.
Well, that was during their big push, right? Right before they had to cancel all the books where they had like Black Lightning and
Yeah, before the DC implosion.
Implosion. Yeah. What
Yeah,
did they call it when it originally came
it was
out?
the DC explosion.
Was it the explosion? Was
Yeah,
that okay?
yeah, that's why it was called the DC implosion when it all went so badly.
But you know what? At the same time, even though the books went away, at least they created those characters that
Yeah,
have come around.
yeah,
Since there's certain characters, and I say this more for Marvel, who tends to, well, especially now, they're kind of in that phase of here's new and exciting. Did you like it? And then a year later, they wipe it all out to try and do it again. But the bad part is some great characters don't get the attention that they should. Like I'm still a
yeah.
sucker for Darkhawk.
Hmm.
Remember when Darkhawk came
Yeah.
around? He was like the new Spider-Man, and he was a naive kid who had these powers, and I was on board with that. I started reading, speaking of which, Radiant Black.
Mm-hmm.
Have you read it?
No, but I've heard of it.
Very much in that vein. Very much, I don't know what the heck I'm doing, but I got this mystical thing that's making me a superhero. That kind of spiel. Um, Let me think. Yeah, and I read the whatever the something Rogue Sun was. It's part of the same universe, and the son kind of takes up the mantle when his father dies, but the son's kind of an a-hole. That I read an arc of. I don't know how often I'll go back to that, but my point was with Marvel. There's certain characters that you love that you go, why aren't we seeing these guys more?
Well, and right now Marvel is just kind of trapped in this kind of event chasing mentality where they're just trying to do the big thing that gets news. I mean, they just did a year's worth of Spider-Man dying, and then not before that they killed off Iron Fist. And I was looking through the previews, and I think Thor is dying next month, and it's just what you would these things they lose all impact because we know they're not going to stick around.
Right.
So I mean, it just kind of creates this kind of event fatigue.
Yeah. Well, remember, at least when Bendis was doing it, you felt something. Like you knew
Yeah.
that because there would be ripple effects that would stay. Even though the event was over, it would eventually lead into the next big
Mhm.
whatever. And you felt that ebb and flow of connectivity beautifully. And I've noticed both companies, DC and Marvel, once Bendis was out, they're like, not only is he out, anything he's ever done, we're ignoring. Like, why? Like, why did you do? He was setting up some great in DC. He was doing he had Superman. His identity was exposed. The Leviathan story arc. All of that was there like a new thing to. He took all those secret agencies and like made them watered or withered down to one. Remember?
Yeah.
Because there used to be Checkmate and there used to be what? A bunch of the other ones. and they made it become all those got wiped out, and now we're going to have one basically shield type of thing. I thought, okay, I appreciate that. And the moment he's gone, I'm like, oh, so there's nothing at Marvel that lasted other than Miles Morales, right? None of his,
Well, I
none
mean,
of,
the stuff Bendis did at Avengers, it didn't have long term effects, but nothing in Avengers ever really should. That book should always kind of be in flux,
yes,
you know.
yep,
And
agreed.
so that I didn't mind so much. I thought his stuff on Superman was so uneven for me that that doing the taking away the identity storyline is always you know it can't last, but at the same time it's going to require the reader such a leap to accept that it's been undone again. It always just feels like it's a lot of it. It's a lot of work for something that just by definition can't last that long.
Right, and I get that. I mean, as far as story arcs go, yeah, he wasn't gonna not be Clark Kent. That would have been stupid.
Yeah,
And I knew it was going to be reversed. I'm talking about like little things, like characters he created, a good status quo for an organization that maybe nobody was paying attention to. Like they just kind of went. I don't know, and I don't know what happened with both companies. I know with one he was mistreated and kind of went, all right, let's part ways. But you think they would have like hung on to the new characters. Like, okay, for example, here's one. The Hood. Remember the Hood?
yeah,
Where'd he go?
yeah.
You
Although
know,
the flip of that is for a while there was a lot of the Hood going around. I mean, he was in like every book.
yeah,
Like,
but I don't feel like that tied off at all. I felt like it was like we never found out who he was. We kind of got this guy found this cape that was full of evil, something, something, something. Right? Like I don't remember it.
I think they did close it up eventually.
Did they? Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
I remember at the time thinking it felt like in wrestling when there's this guy they really want to push super hard, so they make him go fight like one of the best guys and make that guy lose. Oh, he beat Hulk Hogan. He must be the best. I really felt like they were really trying to push the Hood on us for a while there.
sure. No, I agree. But like besides Bendis, like I just feel like there's certain characters that you go, these guys have so much potential. Why are you not at least throwing them in a team book together and get a decent writer? Like for example, I appreciate Birds of Prey that they have going because you have Cassandra Cain and you have Black Canary, you know, and
Yeah.
you have Barda. Holy crap, you have Barda? You know, good. That's a thing to do. You get a decent writer, tell your stuff, and it's still going, which is great. But like guys like Nova, you don't really see Nova. Darkhawk, like I said, all these ones that I always like their design and I kind of root for.
Yeah.
Firestorm. Firestorm. Where the heck is Firestorm? He's got one of the best designs ever,
Yeah.
right?
Oh yeah. No.
Look, I just happened to notice I have my Funko of him out there. Always,
No,
I
I
love
found a bunch of Firestorm comics at WonderCon last weekend. So
the original run.
yeah,
Ooh, is that good?
I haven't got. Well, I remember I read about some of them when I was a kid, and the art by Pat Broderick was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I also found a bunch of the first few issues where he joins the JLA.
Oh,
And that was always fun. That was good stuff because at that point the JLA was pretty. It had been locked in for like a good 5 years where they hadn't had any new members. So all of a sudden having this young kid who felt like a Marvel character, he didn't really fit in the league at all. Those were good. That was good stuff. That's my favorite run.
That's what I love about what Mark Waid is doing with Justice League Unlimited.
Yeah.
I mean, duh! Isn't this what we've always wanted? Why would you lock out everybody else that could potentially come in? It's better to have them be global and go, all right, who do we need for this mission? Go get them.
And it's the fact that he brought an Airwave.
What about that?
Airwave, that was great.
I just read the Stargirl sidekick miniseries.
Mm-hmm.
It was really good. It was really fun. It was really crisp, and plus it brought in all these new characters and gave all these ones that you may have loved. That wait, they had a sidekick. Well, they did now.
Yeah.
And Airwave being one of them, and then they throw him right into the Justice League.
Yeah. Because Airwave goes all the way back to the 40s.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they tried to they revived him in the 70s. They give him a backup spot in, I think it was Action Comics. So
Okay.
you get like a 12-page Superman story, and then like an 8-page or 6-page Airwave story. And it didn't last long, and that was it for Airwave. I mean, I don't think Airwave's been around since, I think he appeared in Crisis, but I don't even think anyone's tried to revive him since the 80s.
And the fact that they have like Dr. Occult.
Dr. Colt.
Wow. Like I remember him popping up in Superman in the 90s.
Yeah. Airwave's thing back in the 40s was just he had a radio. And he used radio to like trick people, and he would roller skate on phone wires. That was his big hook.
Wow, really?
By the time when they re-upped him in the 70s, he was the son of the original Airwave, and by that point he'd gotten a new suit where he could actually convert himself into radio waves and like travel through radios and stuff.
Okay.
And that was the last time he was even seen.
Wow. Well, you know what? And it's funny too because he's one of those characters that you could go, well, that's lame.
Yeah.
But okay, but so could Aquaman. Aquaman could be lame, but if you write him in a good way, he's not. And in today's world, Airwave is perfect with the internet and everything with satellite. Yeah, and it takes a great writer like Wade to go, I know how to use this guy.
Yeah, that new series Wade's doing where he's going to retell the whole history of the DC universe, I'm real excited about.
Are you?
Yeah.
I'm all right. I'm confident because it's Wade. I take it with a grain of salt because you're going to tell us what the definitive new lineup is. You know what I mean?
It's DC Comics, so it's definitive until 5 years from now.
Exactly.
That's fine. But I know this version will be great because Wade's kind of take on DC history is very much the same as mine. So I know the stuff he likes, I'm going to like.
Yep.
Airwave.
Me
that
too.
kind of thing, so.
Do you remember? I can see his face. You'll know his name as soon as I say it. When they did the Justice League, we talked about it before, and how obscure it was, but how great it was. Justice League with Prometheus, and it was Green Arrow, the weird purple Starman, the gorilla character that nobody.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That was so good.
Yeah.
That was so. Again, it was one of those where I'm like, well, I like Green Arrow, and I'm kind of curious. I'll get an issue. And he did a thing where in the back of every story, he gave you a cool write-up on each character.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why is he using this Starman over another star? Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, well, who's this gorilla character? Oh.
A gorilla.
It was around that time when Marvel was doing the that it wasn't the Justice League, it was the 40s. Oh, we talked about this, and every time I think about it, but it took forever for the last issue to come out.
Oh, the 12.
The 12. That was so good.
Yeah.
It was so good. And it's one of those where you go, well, why doesn't this continue?
Yeah.
That was what, Straczynski?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was so. You made me care about characters I had never even heard about before.
It's so underrated.
Yeah, so those two, I remember coming out around the same time and going, man, I don't know how many people are reading these, but this is amazing. And I'm going to miss this when it's over.
I'm going to go dig that out of my library as soon as I get off this call now, because I forgot how good the 12 was.
Right?
Yeah.
And then you do a little history and you go, oh, no, these are actual characters that were out in the 30s and 40s. Like the one woman was only in 4 issues.
Was it Venus?
Comic Book Tropes did an episode on her, actually. I don't know if you've ever watched on YouTube. He does a great job. He gets into the history of stuff, and while he's talking, he has the things pop up. But he did one. No, she was like Black Orchid, or not Black Orchid. She was a vampire potentially. There was something about her that they didn't quite know in the 12 if she was good or bad.
I gotta reread the 12.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
So in her comic thing, she was only in a handful of comics, and each time they changed either how she looked or what she did, because again, it was the 30s and nobody cared, and they were just hungry to get superheroes out. You know, one guy writes a book and the next guy goes, I can't do anything with that. But what if she can control spiders in this one? You know?
Yeah.
You're looking it up?
I'm looking. I gotta know now.
I know. But they had like the guy in the armor outfit that was like an Iron Man type character. Remember? Okay, this one, she looked like Vampira. She had blonde hair, very what do you call it?
Black Widow.
What was her name? Black Widow?
Black Widow, yeah.
Okay. I thought she had a different name in this, but yeah. Okay. But it was so good. But yeah,
and the Phantom Reporter and the Laughing Mask, the Blue Blade. Yeah, I gotta pull this book out.
I'm telling you, it was so good. And I'm like, what? One, why did it take forever for the last couple issues to come out? Because it killed the momentum. It killed, by the time it came out, I forgot. I bought it digitally, but I forgot to pick up maybe the last physical copies. And then the other part is, if this was so darn good, why not let him keep going? That was when he did the new, what was it called? Oh, it was basically the new take on
Squadron Supreme.
Thank you.
Yeah, Supreme Power.
Yeah, it was so good. Yeah. That was so good because it was its own universe. You didn't have to worry about Marvel's characters coming in. It was so fresh and so good, and then it wasn't. You remember, like when he was writing it, it was beautiful, and then they did all these offshoots. You know, we're gonna do this guy's origin story, and it was good, but it wasn't the same writer, so it kind of fell off.
No, it didn't work.
And then they tried to revive it with a new writer. Go, look, it's back. It didn't work.
Nope.
It's such a delicate balance. Yeah. That's why you got to appreciate good writers.
Well, that's the other thing I've been reading is they put all of Busiek's Astro City out in nice big collections.
I've been getting those.
And these are after the what do they call them? The Metro books. God, and Busiek's Astro City is just,
I know,
it never disappoints.
Why did it go away?
Well, I mean, it's mostly about Busiek's health. He's often said, because he's had chronic sinus issues and migraine issues and health issues for years and decades.
Oh,
and he was at Astro City required the writing process for on that one book requires this kind of like intense focus that makes it harder for him to do. So it just takes much longer than the other stuff that he was cranking out more easily.
Okay, that's a shame.
Yeah, but still, the fact that you've got like what 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 of these things—that's a giant stacked body of work, and the quality has never dropped. And the designs are all Alex Ross, and Brent Anderson has always been there. It's just such a great series.
We always talk about it, but the one with the Batman type character.
Oh, the vampires. Yeah.
Yes, that was so good.
Oh man,
so good. But remember, see, for me, around that time, there was Top 10.
Yeah.
There was
Tom Strong.
What?
Tom Strong.
Tom Strong. I didn't read Tom Strong, but
Tom Strong's great.
And my problem is I was mixing them all up with each other.
Yeah.
And so I got Top 10, and I read that, and it was good. But it wasn't. I don't know if it had the staying power.
The top 10 was because that one the idea was like a superhero NYPD blue procedural.
Yep.
And compared to something like Tom Strong or Astro City, which it's a new characters every week, but it's always so character based. Top 10 had such a big cast of characters, but never really focused on anybody.
Right.
So I always felt like, am I missing something? Am I caught up?
Uh-huh.
It was a book that required a lot of focus of the reader.
Yeah, well, and I would always I still do, the Authority and,
Planetary.
yeah, Planetary. I don't, I mean, one is better, I think, than the other, because when I hear about it, I'm like, oh, I got to get back and get
Yeah.
one. Like the one with Apollo or whatever, not so much that one.
Planetary
Is amazing.
Planetary is genius, where he just takes all of these pulp concepts and science fiction comics and other kind of comics and just filters them all through his own kind of history of it's so good.
And it's alternate realities, right? Like they actually go and here's Godzilla and here's that's fun. I love that. Whereas the other one, I was never really that big into. I read the first arc and was like, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
But it kind of felt more gratuitous.
Yeah, it was kind of one. It's like one note. Like, oh, what if the Justice League were really mean and did whatever they wanted? Like, all right, you can tell me that story for an issue. I don't know if I need it every month for like years.
And I also got
it kind of goes back to what we were saying about the boys.
Right.
If there's no one for me to root for, I can't stay interested that long.
Exactly. And I watched, speaking of the boys, I watched 2.5 seasons of that because it was, people saying you got to watch it. And I just I don't feel good about myself. I'm not happy with this. Totally. Like I should feel happy or even more inspired when I see anything really. Like at the very least, I want to be entertained instead of being like, all right, you shocked me. Good for you. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And a lot of shows kind of feel that way. So when there's something that I feel is safe, good, I'm in. I was watching Tracker.
Yeah.
Have you watched it?
A couple episodes.
It's nice. It's light. It's there's problems I have with it. Like there's certain things. It's based on a book series.
Yeah.
And they have him be, instead of calling himself, like they go, who are you? I'm Coulter Shaw. Yes. And like, okay, first of all, the name is very, okay. 2, they're like, what are you doing here? Instead of him saying the natural thing, oh, I'm a tracker. I was hired as a tracker. He goes, I'm a rewardist, which immediately puts you into a scumbag territory.
Well, not only that, it's just so douchey. It's
right.
Rewardist.
And they have him at the end of every episode be handed an envelope of money. Thanks for saving my daughter. Not a problem. All right, I'm out of here. They're like, well, do you want to come in and have a meal? No, I'm going to get going. Because they're pushing the I'm a loner kind of thing.
I'm not a dinnerist.
Food? No, thank you. This whopping money was my reward. Yeah. And
I mean, I'd rather have Mr. Wolf from Pulp Fiction. I'm Mr. Wolf. I solve problems. Good. I like that.
Right. At least you but like they're focusing on him being a loner. Okay. They gotta tweak that. They shouldn't have him collecting the money. Just know that it happens later on, or have him work for an agency that handles that side, because he's got his little sidekicks that he calls.
Yeah.
Which we've talked about with I would use the Not MacGyver as an example, where they have the guy at the computer who just goes.
Yes.
And I found everything that you need, and I'm sending it to you. So we're moving the story along. They don't even try to be clever. The last episode we watched, we had to pause it, rewind it, and watch it again because there's no way in God's green earth. Here's what happens. Okay? He calls his friend. Oh, I'm out here. This kid got kidnapped at this restaurant in the middle of nowhere. Hang on. Hey, Bobby, or whoever it is that's the computer guy. Yeah, I need your help. Hang on. The guy was at a diner. Okay? So his computer guy wasn't even at his normal computer. He had a laptop that was not plugged into anything.
Sure.
Okay? I'm setting a scene here. Now, I sound like I'm nitpicking, but when the writers insult your intelligence, you got to call them out on it. He goes, let's see. He hits the keyboard 6 times. And he goes, on his laptop. He goes, hang on. Yep, I see you. All right, the 3 places around you have a camera. I'm sending you the footage right now. He hit the keyboard not even 10 times. He didn't hit 10 keystrokes. He found where they were. All the cameras around him was able to get into the footage and send him the footage from last night at a very specific chunk of it, and goes, there you go, and it's clear as day.
Yeah, I can't order a DVD from Amazon that fast.
Right?
Yes.
And I'm like, you know what? I'll suspend my disbelief to an extent just to keep the episode moving. That's fine. I understand you have a computer guy, a guy at the desk. Great.
Or as Ned called the guy in the chair.
Right, exactly, the guy in the chair. Have him go, all right, give me a couple minutes. I'm going to see what I could find. But to have him do it while he's eating a sandwich and hit the 6 keys and give him everything, they didn't even say what time, because that's why we rewound it. We're like, does he give him a specific time to get a chunk of video from? No, he doesn't.
No.
He goes, here he is being attacked, and there's the guy who you're looking for. And, oh, wait, his name is Johnny Thunderstorm, and he lives at this address, and right now he's eating a corned beef sandwich with his right hand.
And by the way, he got that over the Wi-Fi at the Applebee's.
Right. No, it's not even. If it were an Applebee's, I would go, no, this was a diner. This was a mom and pop slimy diner.
Here's a spoon.
I'm like, guys, try. Just
their phone still has a dial on it.
yeah. And I'm just, these are the nitpicks that I'm like, you can fix this easily, and you're not, and you're on CBS. Oh, and the other thing that we pick on him for, every episode when someone's talking to him, he does this. Okay. Like, they go, do you know where he was last seen? And while the guy's saying whatever he has to say to him about, well, I don't know, he was hanging out with this guy, the actor goes, like, just to fill the time. It's always the same. He turns off and goes, okay.
Yeah, I watched it, and it wasn't a bad show. And then the other thing about the show that gets me is, of course, what else does he have? A tragic backstory.
Sure.
Yeah.
But you know what? There's nothing special about this guy. Pick any other TV character that gets their own show. And I'm honest to God, pick it. I can give you a whole bunch, but you pick a show that you like. There is something unique about that person that made them unique and special, right?
Yeah.
Anybody. Columbo had his thing, MacGyver obviously is MacGyver. That's his thing. Huh?
The Pretender or the Mentalist.
See? Yeah, the Dead Zone. Okay.
Yeah.
They have their thing that nobody else can do, which makes them a unique, special character that you and I want to watch. This guy, nothing. They never show him be, well, I'm really good at... They have a couple people and maybe an episode or two go, oh, no, he's good at finding people. He's not doing anything special. If anything, he's the guy linking the people at the computer who do the work, and he's the guy on the ground who goes and knocks on a door and maybe gets shot at. But, like, he's not going, okay, this is something that nobody else could do. He just shows up, he looks down, he goes, oh, look, there's some tread marks through the grass going in this direction. And walks in that direction and stumbles on it. I'm thinking...
Yeah, but he has a cool car and he has to get there. He's the Uber Eats of TV action heroes.
He's got the big truck and the camper that he
and you go on your app and you place the order and you get the reward just is right at your door.
Right. I mean, the fact that nobody in the series has said, Coulter, little FYI. You sound like an a-hole when you call yourself a rewardist, because it sounds like you only care about the money. Why don't you call yourself, dun-dun, they show the logo, Tracker. Why don't you call yourself a tracker? Because guess what? That's the name of the freaking show. God.
He's
and
a
it's
rewardist. I had forgotten about that.
And it hasn't gotten, it's the second season, and they haven't fixed these little things. He's got better people working around him. For example, his brother that you see in the pilot. I haven't seen my brother in 20 years. it's Jensen Ackles,
Yeah.
and he's great.
Yeah.
He's great because we know from Supernatural, which we're on the 3rd season of, when he comes on screen, even though it's not his show, his personality and character is much more. Your eye is drawn to him, and it's not even his show.
Yeah. He's the only thing I like watching on The Boys. Is I see the clips. So him as Soldier Boy.
There you go. So
Yeah.
like you go, why don't they? If they were smart, they'd make him a regular, because he's been on 2 episodes, 1 per season, and he's basically the same type of character from Supernatural. He's the smart mouth guy who thinks he's more than he is and whatever, but he steals the show. And what they did in the first episode that he's in, as a little nod, when he's going to get into his brother's truck, next to him is the black car from Supernatural,
Nice.
and he pats it like, good car, and gets in. In the second episode he's driving that car.
That's cool.
And his brother goes, can I drive? He goes, no. Which is a callback to Supernatural. Nobody drives this car but me. You're like, do that. So they're building good people around him, but he's such a flat character.
Yeah.
Like there's no quirkiness, there's no smile, there's no, kindness per se. It's okay, I'll go find them. All right, I found them. Where's my money? And they give him his money. They offer him a cheeseburger. He goes, no, none for me, thanks. I have to hit the road. God forbid I enjoy my life.
I know.
Which is based, I guess, on the novels, where instead of it being a truck that could be detached from the camper, he would just drive around in an RV. Which I'm glad they changed that.
Yeah, that's probably better.
and we watched Longmire. Have you watched that?
I watched a few a couple years ago. I'm not fluent in it, but it's a good show.
It's our wind down show because it's not necessarily exciting. That's also based on a book series. But it's it's a cowboy detective thing. He's the sheriff. He's gruff. He's whatever. It's one of those right before you go to bed. Let's wind down and watch this, and you get your one and done, and you that's good. I finished the season of Reacher. Did you watch it?
Reacher's good.
Okay.
I like Reacher.
It's very cliche. It's very 80s alpha male, laugh at him kind of thing. But if you're in the mood for it, it hits the spot.
And that guy, unlike the rewardist, that guy has charisma on screen.
He does, and he's got special skills. They're bullcrap skills, but I'll take it. Yeah. I'll take it. If he's, I'm great. I'm perfect at everything. Like, all right. I know that going in, so I can let it go. But I've finished the first season. Like, okay, are the others? There's 2 seasons or 2 more seasons, right?
Yeah.
And you recommend it?
Oh yeah, definitely. It keeps getting better.
Really? Okay. Yeah. All right, then I'll keep at it. That's good to hear. Trying to think. Oh, have you watched Severance?
No.
Okay. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, that's why I hear about it.
We're on the first season, which apparently it's been out for 2 years, and I'm just hearing about it now that the second season has come out. It seems like it's the sweeping the nation show that people are talking about, which I'm like, where were you 2 years ago when this first came out? It's good. It's hasn't paid off yet, but I'm enjoying the journey, basically. It's very artfully done. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's not, people were comparing it to Lost. Lost is much better. Lost has your 1 episode stories that pay off, and there's an overarching mystery. This so far is an overarching mystery without the one and done payoffs.
That's not as good.
You know what I mean? Right.
It's less satisfying, yes.
It's a lot of questions. You're like, okay, so this is their world, and it's beautifully done. It's really interesting. A lot of mystery. Great cast, by the way. You got great actors interacting with each other. But at the same time, I don't know if I can recommend it to you.
The only thing I've been on lately is I just started a big rewatch of Venture Brothers.
Okay.
Venture
I
Brothers.
have never finished that. We were watching that from the beginning.
It's amazing.
It's so good.
It just gets better and better every season, and more intricate and more self-referential, and yet a more epic scope to it. And they had the finale film came out, and that's streaming. I bought the Blu-ray, but I haven't watched it yet.
Okay.
And I hadn't seen it's been a while since I watched the last season because it takes so long between seasons. I was like, you know what? I don't know that last season as well as I know the others. And it's been a while. I'm just going to dive in the beginning and start over.
I'm with you.
It's because there are things in that first season that pay off at the end of the last.
Oh, yeah. I had a friend who couldn't stand Monarch because of his voice. So every time I'm with her, I go, I'm the Monarch. And she goes, Stop it, Monarch. She go, all right, I'm leaving. That's it. But
I love it when they go to the yard sale at the Venture's house. I'm going to make a deposit at the bank.
That was the first episode I ever saw, by the way. That was the one that hooked me. I saw that. Oh, I'm gonna buy this one. Oh,
The Ray Romano henchman is awesome.
Right? Don't say that. It's and of course, you got Patrick Warburton.
Brock Sampson's the best.
Don't do that. I'm gonna ask you to go ahead and not do that. And it's so good. And you're right, because what happened with me was the same thing. My wife and I would watch the seasons when they'd come out before the kids were born. And then they took such long breaks that we're like, yeah, we'll watch it when it's back out. And then you just forget because life moves on. And yet it's one that I tell the kids about. And I want to watch it. And like you, I have to go back and start from the beginning. Same thing like with Star Wars Rebels. Start from the beginning and just power through.
Yeah.
But there's not enough hours in the day. And I'll tell you, those 6 months, I thought I'm going to at least catch up on some shows was my thought.
Yeah.
And I got 3 seasons into Marvelous Miss Maisel, which I'd heard about.
Mm-hmm. I hear great things.
I recommend it. You enjoy the time period of which it happens. And it's her trying to be a stand-up comic during the 50s. Well, the byproduct that nobody bothers to tell you about that I picked up on that I don't think anybody else cares about, she's a terrible mother. Because it starts off with her and her husband. He wants to go be a stand-up comic at night. She goes with them. They have 2 kids. Their parents are very rich, and they kind of all live in the same apartment building. The husband goes to try and be a stand-up. It doesn't go well at open mic. He then leaves her. He goes, I'm out of here. I don't want, I've decided I'm going to go date other people. So the first season is about her going, my life has been torn asunder. And she decides she's going back to vent at the open mic. And Lenny Bruce is there. And she, it's the 50s. So if you say certain things, you get arrested. And she gets arrested. And Lenny Bruce bails her out and kind of puts the bug in her ear. Like, no, you're good. You got potential. And the gruff woman who is the manager of the nightclub, what's her name from Mad TV?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, she does Lois's voice on Family Guy. She says, you know what? I'm going to manage you. You come back, I'll manage you. So the series is about her trying to become a stand-up comic. And it's very good, and there's Tony Shalhoub is in it, who's great and everything. But as I watch it as a father, I'm like, you never spend time with those children. You work during the day, you go at night to your nightclub thing, but those kids are pushed off on either your parents or the neighbors. And I know that's not the focus, but it irks the living crap out of me because I'm like, Nobody is gonna. I hope they address this at some point.
Well, it's funny because if I'm not mistaken, the show was made by the same creatives who made Gilmore Girls.
Oh, okay.
And which I think is a great show. Don't get me wrong, I love Gilmore Girls,
Never saw it.
but in that show, the main the characters are a mother and daughter who are like best friends, and it's like it's not really being a good mother either.
No, it's not.
There's no boundaries here. Just yeah. So it doesn't surprise me that this is kind of a running theme through these shows.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And of course, these characters create their own crap.
Yeah.
Like everything's going well for them, but oh no, that's not good enough. You've got to muck it up for yourself and the rest of your family, kind of thing. Like Tony Shalhoub's character, he's stern and stubborn, and they play up the Jewish 50s. We want people to think that we're something that we're not, kind of thing, and we're going to go to synagogue, but we're going to talk during it, and that kind of hypocrisy, which is done for laughs, but he also is very, oh no, we will do it this way. And then the daughter is just, the first season or so, she's not telling her family where she's going because they'll look down on her being a stand-up comedian and going to nightclubs. Oh, ooh. You have to wear your special dress for lunch and then quickly change to walk outside, but then come back and change for dinner, kind of thing. It's a good journey. It's one of those that while I was sitting there looking for jobs, I would keep it on, and I will finish it. But again, I got to get back to Ted Lasso. Yeah. I've got to dive into Venture Brothers.
I think she'll make a good Lois Lane.
Oh, she's going to be great.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Now that I've watched it more than just looking at her, I'm like, yeah, she's spunky. She's got that zip to her that is neat.
I never bought the last Lois Lane was, what's her name?
Amy Adams?
Yeah. Never bought her as Lois for 1 second.
Well, again, that was a foundation, built on crap too. So It didn't matter who they got. Everybody was going to be dark. Yeah. Everybody was going to be depressed. So these poor actors didn't really get a fair shake if the script. Look at what's his face, Jared Leto, is it?
Yeah.
He's still ticked that his Joker got the shaft.
I would be very curious I don't know if they'll ever release it, but I would like to see what Ayer's cut was of Suicide Squad.
Me too. I hope they do.
Because I mean, he's made really good movies.
Yeah.
Did you? I know that saying this might not seem like a really good movie, but I loved it. Did you see The Beekeeper? Jason Statham.
No, not yet.
I love The Beekeeper.
Okay.
It's a great kind of like low budget but high concept action movie. Beekeeper, 100%. Go check it out.
All right, I will. I just watched the last John Wick.
What did you think?
Well, I'll say this: they're making another one, so apparently he's not so much.
Well, that solves my main problem because I liked it because I like all the John Wicks; they're all great, and that one was big and huge. But after 4 movies is not the time you kill your hero.
Here's the thing: Keanu Reeves said, "I'll keep making them as long as you want me to," which I love. He's a great guy. When I would watch a John Wick film, I'm surprised at the plot that they weave into it with the building that they,
the mythology. I love
the mythology has been the best part of it because just as a person on this planet, you're going to call bull crap with so much of the fight scenes because he takes such abuse that you're like, okay, listen, I'm going to stand up out of this chair as a martial artist and my back's going to hurt because I've been sitting here for 3 hours. This guy getting hit by a car, bashing through a wall, you're not going, oh, give me a second. Okay, here we go. We're going to So there is that level of bull crap that you could nitpick.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of weirdness in that world where John Wick will travel from New York to like some bizarre Asian market by boat in like a day and a half.
Again, just
make no sense.
Just to enjoy those films, you go, let it go. Let it go. Enjoy the world that they're building and and it's the minutia of the backstory that I'm like, no, you actually have managed to make each film
Yeah.
good. Like in the third one, everybody's coming after you, John Wick. Oh crap! Like they up the ante. So this fourth one, I thought, all right, it's the next one. I don't know when these are ending, and it ends, and he collapses, and you go. My son happened to walk in and catch that moment because he's interested, but he wants to start from the beginning and watch them. So he caught the last, say, half hour because they are captivating. He walks in and goes, "Is he dead? Did they just kill John Wick? Are you serious?" I went, "It looks like it." And then they do that last scene where they're at the gravesite and they're like, "Well, I guess he's with his wife and his dog now. Want to get a beer?" And they leave. And I thought, oh, well, that's a shame because this is one of those series that I personally think can go on forever. Like, as long as you're writing a decent thing, I didn't expect much except fighting.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go in for it like that. Same thing like I do with the Godzilla movies. It's monsters smashing into buildings. When I'm up for it, if I get anything else, I'm surprised.
Did you see Nobody?
Who was it? No, but I did. A couple weeks ago.
Nobody's great.
Nobody I kept hearing people talk about and thought, all right, I got to watch this because I love the actor.
Yeah.
And I love when I saw the trailer originally, I thought, this could be like a Death Wish kind of movie. I was a quiet guy and you pushed me too far and now whatever. And they have Christopher Lloyd in it.
Yeah. And it also has kind of a surprising mythology behind it.
Yeah.
Which I love it when someone does that well. It's always a draw for me. And this one did it well. And it just Christopher Lloyd with his dual shotguns at the end. It's fantastic.
Well, the scene where the bad guy shows up at his retirement home. Yeah. And the fact he calls, he goes, "You're gonna have company." Click, and that's it. And he just gives him like a quick heads up.
Yeah.
And then they're talking about the brother through the whole thing, and I'm like, oh, he must have died. He's the reason why he got out of the game, and blah 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 blah. Then the brother shows up, and all right, cool. And I love that the brother was an adopted brother, obviously, and they're giving each other crap, but they work great together. Yeah, more.
The hand-to-hand sniper rifle fight. It's so good.
Yeah, yeah.
I think apparently number 2 is coming out later this year.
Okay, because that was what I was just about to say. Like, why did they never make a sequel?
No, they just finished it.
And like I said, I'm thankful that we're getting another John Wick because they're doing the spin-offs. Whatever, do the spin-offs.
Yeah.
But he's such a unique, cool character that I don't want it to be over.
No, yeah, they as long as the Reeves can keep doing them, they should keep making them.
Right. Well, so here's what I think is going to happen. Those guys were in on it. It's a cover-up. He's supposed to be dead. When they see him fall over and he's supposed to be dead, what you didn't see was the next scene that they're going to start the next movie with, where they're, get up, wake him up, revive him. He spends months, maybe years, in a hospital getting better, and then he's living on an island somewhere, but either he's called back or they find him, and there's your movie.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. Which means then you cannot kill him down the road.
Yeah.
You want him to have his happy ending.
Yeah, you can't do it twice.
Right. And also he had another dog, which I remember he handed off to somebody in the third movie.
Yes.
So he's got to go back and get that dog.
Go take care of the dog.
Right? And the one guy in the hotel that got killed, that died in real life.
Yeah.
The maitre d'. I'm like,
yeah.
All right. I'm glad he got a action-packed way out of this series instead of just he doesn't show up anymore.
Yeah.
What do you think, speaking of bringing back characters, do you think they're going to recast T'Challa?
No. Not the T'Challa will get recast whenever they have to recast everybody.
Okay.
It's going to happen at some point. Maybe that might be what happens in Secret Wars, actually.
Right.
Secret Wars might kind of lead to, all right, now we're starting over again.
Right. Which I'm all for. I think I would love that, actually. I mean, certain parts of the universe can be restarted or whatever. You're not going to touch Daredevil because There's nothing wrong with Daredevil.
Yeah,
Spider-Man,
I mean,
leave him alone.
yeah, but I think to when they made the choice to actually kill off T'Challa instead of recasting him, that kind of like sealed. I think for this version of the MCU, as long as there's any part of it around, they can't have somebody else play T'Challa because they kind of deified him.
No kidding.
You know,
No
so
kidding. The first chunk of that movie, actually, the whole movie was in memoriam to T'Challa.
yeah, and I mean, it's also why I never watched it again. It was a good movie, but I never want to go to a funeral twice.
I'm with you. I don't go to one to begin with.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know, so, and plus they kind of ruined them more by making him murder T'Challa's mother.
Right? That was shocking. I mean, like, wait, whoa, she's dead.
Yeah.
Oh, they're dead. Oh, like you thought, okay.
And you can't unring that bell either.
I know. Well, that's the problem. Like, back to what we were saying with Cap. How do you fix it unless you go, all right, we're merging universes and Cap. Well, the fact we're getting Haley Atwell in the next movie.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, that's not confirmed yet, but
really?
Yeah. She didn't have a chair.
All right, maybe I just saw something.
I saw things somewhere that said it, but it wasn't a reliable source yet. It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, you could have her in both because they'll just put her back in the Captain Carter outfit.
Sure, as
From
the
Dr.
yeah.
Strange.
Oh, by the way, I thought of you. We were watching the last season of What If. I know you don't watch them.
Yeah.
That's okay. Here's why. Remember your complaint about them?
Yeah, everything is always awful.
Everything's always awful, and there's no they cheated the concept of What If.
Yeah.
Instead of it being I went right instead of left, it's we're just going to come at this sideways and just mush. Well, this third season, even when it was entertaining, there were a couple episodes that nobody wanted, nobody asked for, and we're like, wow, you guys really just stubbornly ignored the plot of What If. They did one where what if Marcy, you know Marcy from Thor?
Yeah.
And Howard the Duck had a child together.
I saw that was one of them, yeah.
They had a child together. What? Why? Well, I don't. Howard the Duck is a one line in the background Guardians of the Galaxy joke. Nobody needs to focus on him. And this was an episode with that.
Yeah, so this is not what if, this is what the F.
That's what we were saying, exactly. WTF. Marvel's WTF. We don't care. And the other episode that we're like, why? It was Hagatha in the 40s as a movie star with Howard Stark producing and teams up with the Eternals. What's his face? The Indian character. I can't think of his name. Okay. So they bring back the Eternals. What a way to destroy a what if episode. Nobody likes them.
Yeah.
And it was them kind of being at odds with each other because remember the Indian character is a movie star.
Yeah, Kingo.
He's a Bollywood guy. Well, back in the 40s, it's supposed to be him as the same thing. And Howard Stark gets them together. And won't this be wonderful? Meanwhile, the two of them are kind of fighting the idea of the Celestial coming forth in the 40s. And the only way to beat it is to work together with her magic and his whatever. And they're fighting while they're dancing. So Howard doesn't know that they're really fighting. They just think they're really good at dancing. And I'm watching it and I'm being patient. And you're just going, you have limited amount of episodes. And you throw those two episodes in, you don't have that luxury. And it hurt.
Correct me if I'm wrong, I might be. Was there a Bollywood in the 40s?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't think there was.
I'm not a Bollywood enthusiast, so I don't know, but still WTF? Like
yeah.
It's meanwhile I'm thinking, Why? Okay, that's fine, but where's your Daredevils? Where's your Spider-Man? Where's your like? Let's see these characters. Miss Marvel. Let's have them be in the what ifs. Like let's expand a little more than just movie people that you've already locked into. Like let's you've got more people. They did one where it was a western with Shang-Chi, and for some reason they're in the Wild West, and the female Hawkeye, Kate. That's not a what if. You're just making crap up now.
Yeah.
Like you're not. And great, don't get me wrong. It was a cool story. It was fine. But you promised us what if. And as I'm watching this, I'm thinking I got to tell Scott. He was right about how they just don't care enough. Where I was trying to give them, all right, first season, let's give them a break. I'm sure it'll all work out. And in the end, they did this big thing where Uatu has the other Watchers come after him because he has interfered. There's like 2 or 3 episodes where he like nudges something to change it. So needless to say, they come at him and go, dude, you had one job.
What are you doing?
You know, and of
it's
course,
in your name.
And he gets a group of the Exiles, basically. Remember that great series? They call themselves the Exiles. It's Captain Carter, the daughter of Howard the Duck. It's her grown up with wings, and it's voiced by what's her name? She does the Columbo type show.
Oh,
where,
the redhead.
Yeah. And she's great. She's the perfect voice because you're like, yeah, she would be Howard the Duck's daughter. Yeah. Well, it's her and it's Valkyrie, Juan, and somebody else are from different universes or whatever as the Exiles, and they're trying to help, that kind of thing. And it's long and it's drawn out and it's all cosmic-y. And it's good, but when I'm watching What If, I didn't need a long story arc to come together.
No,
I need one and done. Give me the one and done.
I don't want to keep going back to this. What does the Howard the Duck Darcy child look like?
That's a Darcy, not Marcy. I messed that up. It looks like the redhead from Poker Face with feathered wings on her arms. So she's supposed to be a combination of the two of them.
Beak?
No, but not quite a nose either.
Webbed feet?
Probably. Sure. I mean, you could type it in.
I'm supposed to go look at this just to torture myself.
I just want to say, go ahead. While we're talking, type it in because I want to see your reaction.
All right.
Darcy, yeah. I kept saying Marcy, but it's Darcy.
Darcy, Howard the Duck, unholy child.
Yep. I want you to see. Because there's no way to really explain it. But the voice, I'm like, yeah, she's annoying enough with that.
Ugh.
Yeah, you go. Ugh. Which again,
terrible.
You have a whole cavalcade of 60 years of characters that you could have used. And instead of following the comic book thought of a fun what if, you decide we're going to do our own thing because we don't care.
Yeah, this must have been that same period whenever that bad Daredevil was being done.
It is. It is. It was when the people were not being supervised to create Marvel content, and just like content that wasn't good. No, just crank it out. We assume that everybody's going to buy garbage because it says Marvel on it. So just keep making it. And, I hate the way the guy, what's his name? Eichner? Is it the guy in charge of Disney?
Iger. Yeah.
I hate the way he said what he said. He's like, no, we're pulling back everything. We're not going to do so much. And I'm like, dude, don't say that because that doesn't sound good. But at the same time, if there's quality control and they realize that now, maybe they can build up again.
Yeah. I'm
Right?
still hoping for a second season of Hawkeye.
Oh, I hope that happens. It's supposed to happen. They're supposed to give us a second season of Moon Knight and a second season of Hawkeye. Hawkeye, I think, is in pre-production.
I hope so. But man,
I know.
I love that series.
Thank God Jeremy Renner is okay.
I know, man.
We are very blessed that he's willing to. Yeah, I'm willing to go back. Well, thank you.
I am stunned that a guy's walking around.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, he did the right thing, but man,
Whew.
I thought we lost him. I thought for sure either we lost him or he would be wheelchair bound for the rest of his life. He wasn't going to be acting anymore.
No.
Next thing you know, have you seen he's been posting videos of him like running and flipping?
I know.
And,
Crazy.
God bless you, dude. You're a good guy.
Very cool.
Okay, what are we forgetting? What are we forgetting? Because I know there's stuff that we wait to talk about. Movies, anything good?
No, I mean we covered all the big stuff I'm looking forward to. I haven't seen much else otherwise.
Yeah. Like I said, we don't go to the theater unless it's the theater. We don't do that unless it's a superhero thing. My kids, by the way, have been super busy. My daughter's obsession is musicals, which is great because a lot of kids could go down a dark path. And if her thing is going to be spontaneously becoming a Muppet and running around the house singing something, great. I'm all for it. And she's a good actress, like her brother's a good actor. He's at right now he's doing Les Mis.
Oh wow.
And this school, Scranton Prep, they do Broadway. They have like a connection with somebody who does like the props or whatever on Broadway. So they get their set designs and costumes from Broadway. And this is his second play that he's doing. I stole the show in the first one. In this one, he's not the star. He's one of the extra guys, but he gets his own lines to sing. Have you ever seen Les Mis?
Oh yeah.
I have not.
Okay.
So he's telling me buckle up because
No, you're in for a treat.
Yeah, they have the orchestra playing and the production. They're going to be up in the balcony at one scene, and
That's gonna be good stuff.
he's telling me you're going to cry. So he's doing that. He's at his rehearsal right now. Loves it. He's like, Dad, I'm so pumped. This because on Fridays he's part of the school band, and I don't mean trumpets. I mean he's playing guitar in a rock band. And they're letting him sing lead on stuff,
Nice.
which he was always skeptical. He goes, I don't know. I don't think I'm good enough. Which I love the humility, but at the same time, okay, work at it, which he does. And they said, I don't know. Do you have a song? And he goes, yeah, I do. They played it, and they're like, dude, that was great. You got to sing lead more often. So I said, see? Get going. It's okay to shine a light on yourself occasionally. Go ahead. Well, so that's his Friday. So he's been busy as can be. And my daughter joined the local play group, and they're doing Into the Woods.
Oh wow.
So you know that.
Yeah.
Another one I haven't seen. So, yeah, she is playing one of the stepsisters. She tells me she gets her toes chopped off. Okay. But she's quite the singer too. Like she went in there and belt out one of the songs from it. And so they're not home a lot at the moment. Especially this week because Wednesday to Sunday is the actual shows. So this past 2 weeks, he goes to school, he stays there until 5, and then he does the practice from 5 till 9. We don't see him.
Yeah.
Like, I'm anxious for it to be over just so I could see him, but I'm very proud of both of them to dive into this. They're not whining. They're not.
I remember those days. You get that last 2 weeks before premiere. That's all you do.
It's intense because they got to run through the whole show, and he's got like 5 different costume changes that
especially if it's a musical with the big dance numbers and stuff.
And with Les Mis, it's all the way. There's no talking. It's all just singing through the whole thing.
Yeah,
that's nuts.
I remember doing Music Man, and it's like giant dance numbers, and I was not a dancer, but
what part did you play?
I was in the quartet.
Okay. Oh, the barbershop guys?
Yeah.
That is one of my favorite musicals. Have you seen, did we talk about this? Did you see the Matthew Broderick version?
Yeah. I was just spoiled. I was spoiled by the Robert Preston.
Oh, it's the version is pitch perfect. People who know the Robert Preston tend to just go, that's what I know.
Yeah.
But as a musician, singer myself, once I saw the newer one, I'm like, no, they got it. The pacing, the rhythm is down. Because then I did go back and watch the Robert Preston. I'm like, it's not, again, I'm a stickler. I'm a pain in the rear end with music. I'm like, it might be good for on stage, but as far as like the movie part, Matthew Broderick built on what was done before.
Yeah.
And it's Disney, so they made sure the rhythm is perfect and the holding out the notes is, like Trouble. My son and I do all of Trouble. Like, I'm so proud of him. He can do it from beginning to end. And the fact that he's so shy with his performances, he said, if the school ever does Music Man, I'm going for the lead. Because we know it by heart.
Yeah.
So much so that if somebody doesn't do it quite right, we're like, no, you're doing it, So, yeah, like there's certain musicals that I can not only sit through, but I love. I love that. I love Chicago. We bought the soundtrack when that came out. The movie.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe it because I'm like, wait, Queen Latifah is going to do that. And who's the guy? Oh, I don't think so. But then you hear it and you go, all right, I was wrong. It's brilliant. It's perfect. Yeah. Those I'll listen to. But I've never seen Les Mis. I've never seen Into the Woods. I know I'll love it because my kids are in it.
Yeah.
But he said, no. You're going to love it because everybody's good. And it's full production.
Sweet.
Yeah, here's the downside. Both of them, Into the Woods and Les Mis, about 3 hours.
Yeah, they're not short shows.
Love of God.
Yeah.
Love of God. Yeah. So Wednesday is his premiere. I'm going to leave work. We're going to scoop them up and go. Holy crap. And I know that her, Everly and her friends are the type that would want to go every night.
Yeah.
Could be worse. Could be crack,
Exactly. Big picture, man.
Right? If that's your thing, more power to you. I love it. And the fact that she's got the guts to step forward and go. I'm going to, it's springtime, so she still has school, which I would normally wait until the summer, so it's not competing with anything.
Yeah.
But I said, as long as your grades stay as great as they are, we'll let you do this because it means a lot.
Why don't we do this? Why don't we reconvene after Thunderbolts?
Oh, yeah.
Because that's only like 3 or 4 weeks away.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
And write down things like I do. Like if you think of something, even though it's weeks away, write it down.
Exactly.
Because the moment I get off, I'm like, oh, I wanted to point to something and tell them about it. Like example, we're finally getting our Funkos of Stargate.
Oh, yeah.
Now, they've only come out with Carter and Teal'c so far. But now they got to get Jack and Daniel.
Nice.
I in my dreams, I hope they do variations like they do everything else.
Yeah.
But finally, I don't know what, if it was a licensing thing or what, but finally, we're starting to get the things that now if we can get a Monkeys Funko.
That I'm surprised they haven't done already.
Right? The fact that Limp Bizkit can get Funkos and, Skid Row, they got 3 different Funkos, but, really? You don't have the Monkeys? Give me a break. So, all right, everybody. We're gonna wrap it up. Oh, wait, whoa! What are you working on?
Right now I'm just kind of like recharging.
Okay.
And
You were
I'm
working on something, weren't you?
we're working on something. It's still kind of in the works, but these days, most of the stuff I'm doing is I'm still doing a couple columns a week over at 13th Dimension.
Mm-hmm. I repost them on the Never
Yeah,
Gets Old page.
and that's and then occasionally other pieces for them too. But right now, those are the places you can find me. And
Okay.
then I'm always on Facebook and Blue Sky and
Oh,
Instagram.
yep. I was after you to get on Blue Sky.
Yeah,
Remember? I was so happy. I'm like, there he is.
yeah, much better, and a- away
Less
from the other
political.
hellscape.
Yeah. No kidding. No kidding. I mean, the problem I'm having with Blue Sky is I don't know if there's enough people on there because I was getting people who were the only people that were following me when I first joined were the anti-Trump people, which is fine because that I'm there, but that's not my reason for being there.
Yeah, that's not what I'm looking for. Exactly.
I'm not there to see your political whatever, even if I agree with it. I'm there to talk about fun things,
Exactly.
right? So, how was your visit with your brother?
That was great. We did the like I said, the Academy Museum, which is the photos of. The Academy Museum is just a great facility. And
I would be so broke if I lived by you. I'd be
Yeah.
going to things like that all the time. How do you not? There's Thor's hammer.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah, and all that stuff was new from the last time I was there, like last year. So they're constantly switching out the exhibits, and they have a huge theater there too. I saw like a beautiful print of Black Hole I told you about last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we did that, and then we had tickets to go see Alton Brown at one of the big theaters downtown. It was just great.
We
Alton Brown's. I didn't know what to expect because I love his stuff on Good Eats. But I didn't know what his live show would be like. It's kind of a combination of like a live episode of Good Eats with like monologue pieces and music. It's a great show.
if we ever when we ever get together in the same room, we got to go good places to eat because you appreciate good food like I do.
Oh yeah.
And I see your pictures. I'm like, I'm living vicariously through him, and I'm drooling here, looking at like, ah. And you're at a theme park, and you're still getting great food,
Well, these days theme parks have good food. That didn't used to be the case.
right? But
Yeah.
like, you're going to Avengers Academy, and
Yeah.
by the way, I got the cap, chicken, whatever the heck it is. I'm like, that looks delicious.
Yeah.
One of the things I meant to tell you, fun story. January was Cindy's birthday, and coincidentally, we happened to get tickets to go to Philly to see David Gray. David Gray's got a new poster. Has a new album out, and he's one of our favorites. Well, we never got to take the kids to an actual concert before, and as you know, to do anything, you have to really, really, really love it to offset the hassle of travel and money and people and anything that is not what you're going to see, right?
Yeah.
So anytime he would do a concert local, and I mean 2 hours away in Philly, if it's not on a weekend, we can't go because we have jobs and school and whatever. This year, we happened to get tickets on a Saturday on her birthday. Huzzah. We are so excited. It's the kids' first. Their first concert was going to be an Art Garfunkel concert last November, but I guess his voice is shot now and he had to cancel. But they know who Art Garfunkel is, and why not? Can do no wrong. So we are going to make the big trek. And you come to mind a lot because of all your travels that you do for certain things. And I'm like, okay, this is going to be picture worthy. I'm going to take some pictures. Scott will like this. And we go to Philly. We get up early. The concert isn't until like 7:30 or whatever. So we're going to make a day of it. Because much like you, I'm sure, if you're going to do this, you want to relax. You don't want to be running to the gate. You don't want to be running just to do a thing and then, okay, worry about, got to get, let's relax. Let's enjoy the journey. And we're driving to Philly, and the traffic is horrible and it's freezing, but that's okay because I'm happy. We got plenty of time. All I care about is we're going to see David Gray. Holy crap. And my kids are going to experience going, and you know what I mean from going to any sort of concert. It courses through you, not just because of the volume, but because of the energy in a room of a band coming together to play.
The experience of live music. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, it's indescribable. And we've tried for years, and now the kids are going to be there and feel it, and they're going to be filled with tears, and it's going to be great. And so we'll get there. And it's very cold. All right, now we get there. We the direction thing, Zoom or not Zoom, whatever it is, tries to kill you. You know, turn right. Okay, well now you're supposed to turn left, but you're 2 lanes over. You know, and you're in Philly, by the way, so they're not very forgiving in that town. And we gotta like go, hi, I know I'm a pain. The light just turned green, but I need to get over here. And they're like, go ahead. We land, and we're gonna go to Reading Terminal Market. Have you been?
Mm-mm.
Okay, it's great, but it's busy. And the food, you being a foodie would love this. We went to Denick's, which has this pulled pork sandwich thing. Normally when we get it, we don't get the broccoli rabe on it.
Mm.
This time we did, and it was a big mistake because it didn't work. Long story short, though, great. We're here. We're trying to enjoy ourselves, but there's people everywhere. You can't sit to eat anywhere because it's that crowded. And it's a Saturday. And now you're looking at the time. Well, for us to get to Reading Terminal Market from where we parked, we had to walk in the freezing, frigid cold down a bad neighborhood and just like crawl under bridges. We don't know if a troll or a homeless guy is going to jump out at us, and
it's Philly, so they might be throwing batteries at you.
Right. So we're trying to get there, and once we get in there, okay, oh crap, we're shoulder to shoulder, and you got to keep moving. You can't like relax. And now you're stuck there for a couple hours at least. I mean, we had hours to spend because we had nowhere else to go before the show. We get sick of there. We walk back, get in the car, drive to where the venue is, or at least where we're supposed to be able to park. We had to go to the Met. And both times parking was a nightmare because the direction thing is telling us you have to turn right when the garage is right on your left. We circled a block like 3 times in bad traffic. But again, happy sunshine. We got hours to spend. I'm not worrying about it. Well, we get to the Met, and there's a line already. I say, okay, let's go. If we can get in out of the cold, I don't care as long as we're inside. Well, we eventually get let in. And we're like, it's like an hour or 2 before the show. Okay, I'm not questioning it. They start having us go down this aisle. We show our ID. And they're like, all right. I said, I don't know if we're supposed to be here. This looks like a line for like a meet and greet, which we would love to meet and greet David Gray. But we're not spending over $100 per person to do so. I'm unemployed. Even if I was employed, I'm not spending that kind of money. We stand in line. We get up to the counter, and they said, all right, welcome. Show us your ticket. So I'm showing the ticket. We had to get scanned and all that crap. Guess what? We weren't supposed to be allowed in yet.
Oh.
Like, but we're in. Can we just stand over here and not freeze? No, I'm sorry. Everybody, like, they get the security. They're like, somebody made a mistake. We'll walk out. We're a family. We're not thugs. And now we have to figure out what we're going to do for the next 2 hours while the nice rich people are meeting David Gray. We're on a busy, not great strip of Philly because it's a busy street, but it's not good. All right, well, there's a Dunkin' over there. Let's go sit in their lobby and drink a coffee. We walk in. There's no lobby. It's a walk in, get your crap, and get out kind of thing. We have to pee like a racehorse. They don't have a bathroom in the Dunkin'.
Oh.
You know, where we had to cross the street again, go down the block to a quote unquote Kentucky Fried Chicken that was left to time. It has the bulletproof glass where you order. You walk in, the floor is broken and crumbled. Like somebody bought the license but never kept it up to the quality of what a Kentucky Fried. From the outside, it's like a poster that says Kentucky Fried Chicken. You walk inside, other than the menu, nothing else is Kentucky Fried Chicken. You're in like, you know, ghetto kitchen cafeteria land where you might get robbed. Well, at least they're going to have a bathroom, right? Their bathrooms are locked up, out of order. I have to go, but my son really has to go.
Oh,
And we're sitting there, and we're like, well, we got to order something. So the girls go order something, because you can't just sit there. I don't feel right about that. Well, while I'm there, I thought, you know what? I'm going to go find out. I go to see if I could open the door. The guy, the cook from the back, looks through the window in the door and goes, what do you need? I said, to pee? And, oh, okay. Yeah, no, that's okay. We keep it locked because the homeless will come in, use it, destroy our bathroom, clog the toilet, and then leave. So we lock it. But since you're paying paying customers, go ahead. Wait until the girl comes out. Here's the kicker. The girl comes out. She's an employee. She goes, oh, sorry. I took a big beep in there.
Jesus.
I didn't see or hear her wash her hands. And she goes back to the kitchen. Thank you, miss. Thank you. But so, yeah. So that happened. And then we go to the show. Amazing show. He did like deep cuts we never expected him to do. At one point, we're crying because of this one song that we know, and it was perfect. Like I said, the music is coursing through you. And then we stayed over at a hotel just to not have to drive home at night. It was good. And now in September, Ray LaMontagne is coming back. We saw him with David Gray years ago. And then he did like a one extra show at the end of his tour, a half hour from us in Wilkes-Barre. We're like, yeah, we're doing that on a Sunday? Yeah, so Cindy and I went, got balcony seats, didn't matter, holy crap, got to see it. Well, now he's coming back, and it's on his tour to go to Wilkes-Barre.
Nice.
And we're bringing the kids because they love him too.
Yeah.
So we're like, oh, and it's in our backyard. It's on a weeknight, but who gives a rat's for it?
That's easier. My thing is always, if I'm going to see anybody in like an arena type show, I hate going around here because the parking is always just a nightmare. If I try and see something at the Forum or at the SoFi Stadium, it's just the parking is just a unholy mess, and the traffic around there is crazy. So what I'll usually do if I want to see an act like that in an arena is I'll go to Vegas.
Okay.
And that way I can just stay overnight, plan a trip around it, because going to those big concerts in Vegas, it's just easy because they're all at the big casinos. You just walk right in, no problem, no driving, no parking, nothing.
Right.
So June we're going to see Weird Al at the Venetian.
I saw Weird Al. He's amazing.
Oh, it's a fantastic show.
He came locally, probably to either Scranton or Wilkes-Barre, and we saw him. And I was like, yeah, all right, I like Weird Al stuff. But when you watch him bend over backwards, climbing through the audience, just like, it was the same thing like David Gray. You could tell he loves what he's doing because he's got a big smile on his face. Yeah. And after all these years, he's not cynical. He's like, no, look what I get to do. And Weird Al was the exact same way and gave his all.
Yeah, no, it's always a huge, big production. Always great. So that's the plan for June. Just for that is because it was going to be 4 nights at the Venetian, but they sold so fast they added 3 more nights.
Wow.
So we'll be going in like on a Friday and then head back to LA on a Monday.
And then in May we're seeing Brian Regan.
Oh, nice.
Which he's our favorite stand-up. And Cindy and I have seen him, but again, now we live in a world where we can take our kids with us.
Nice.
And they have his stuff memorized. So we're like, no, that's worth spending the money locally to go see.
Cool.
Yeah. But okay, I will let you go. It's what we do. We just keep talking. And we'll meet up after Thunderbolts.
Yes.
In the meantime, everybody, please look for Scott's stuff. He's got the great Star Trek comics that I love and I still have to catch up on. That's on my list. I have to read the one that was off the script that you were talking about. The
Harlan one. Yeah, to read the Harlan one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's on my list to read soon. But yeah, look for him. Please donate the Forever Adventure Network. Try to add blogs that are exciting and cool and stuff. Any donation you can make. Where the heck is the thing that I was saying? 2 seconds here. There is the donate thing. If you'd be so kind, it helps us out a great deal. We don't make any money doing this. This is all for fun. But the more you donate, the more we can actually do. And we will catch everybody next time. And make sure to always stay excited, everybody.
Thanks a lot.
The Never Gets Old podcast is part of the Forever Adventure Network and made possible by your donations through Patreon. If you'd like to help us out, please go to the Forever Adventure Network by Mac Jackson on Patreon and help by subscribing, rating, and reviewing wherever podcasts are heard. We also have a Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube channel. The show's music is by Harmony Constant and available wherever music is sold. Thanks for listening, everybody. And remember, stay excited. The Forever Adventure Network. Welcome to the adventure.
Get ready for the ultimate crossover. MacGyver meets SG-1 in a thrilling new audio series. Follow Jack O'Neill and his twin brother MacGyver as they take on enemies, explore distant worlds, and uncover new mysteries. Created and performed by Mac Jackson, this series is packed with adventure, surprises, and even returning actors from both franchises reprising their iconic roles. Stream it now on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, and more. Don't miss this one-of-a-kind adventure.